What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Let's Be Cops. Now, if it's your first time here, I am Just.that.officer, and this is a series I have created to help those who want to become law enforcement officers get to that point. Get you through the whole process of getting hired as a police officer. Now, my first video is called, Can You Handle It? If you haven't seen that episode, go watch episode 1 now, and then come back to this one. All right, guys, so in this episode, we're going to talk about, do you have what it takes? All right. Do you have what it takes to be a police officer? Do you possess the qualities that it takes to become a police officer? All right, guys, first and foremost is physical fitness. All right, so I'm not saying you have to be top athlete of your class or anything like that, but you need to have some decent physical fitness. To give you an example, before you get into the academy, you're gonna have to run 1.5 miles, typically under 12.5 minutes. You should be aiming for under 12 minutes. Some academies might be longer, give you more time, maybe up to 14 minutes. All right, and then you're gonna have to do, right after that run, they're gonna make you do 40 push-ups and then 40 sit-ups. So it might be in that order, or it might be 40 sit-ups and then 40 push-ups. You have to do that alone just to get in to the academy when it comes to physical fitness. So that's just to give you an idea what kind of physical fitness that you're gonna have to possess. And then you just gotta think about it. I mean, you're out there and you need to, apprehend somebody, you need to be able to chase them down, you need to be able to fight with somebody, and it could go on for a minute or two. And if you don't think a minute or two is a long time in a fight, then you've obviously never been in a fight. It is a long time, and it will wear you down very, very fast. And if you are not in good shape, it could kill you, right? It could be the decision between life and death because you just physically can't handle it anymore and you give up. So physical fitness is very, very important when it comes to the qualities you need to possess as a law enforcement officer. All right, guys, so critical thinking and problem solving skills. All right, you need to be able to analyze and calculate what's going on in any given situation and come up with a solution to that problem, right? Most of the time we're called to problems.
Okay, were you planning to buy some drugs
Yes,
or something?
was.
What kind of drugs were you wanting to buy?
Rock.
Rock.
Yes, I was.
You gave her $20 to buy.
I gave her $20. She gave me some plaster.
And now you want your $20 back
Yes, I do.
because she didn't supply you with crack cocaine.
People aren't calling us to say happy birthday or say, hey, how you doing? They're calling us because they have a problem that they want us to fix. You need to be able to understand your laws, policies, procedures, and everything that you need to do in order to come out with the best solution for that problem. Sometimes you have plenty of time to think about these things, and sometimes you have a split second. So you need to be able to think quickly on your toes and handle any situation and be able to solve that problem. As police officers, we are awarded discretion. If we pull somebody over, we don't always have to give them a ticket, all right? If we didn't have discretion, people would hate us a lot more probably because we would have to stick strictly by the book all the time. Think about a theft, okay? So a mother steals from Walmart and she stole baby formula and diapers and things that she actually needed, but she just doesn't have the money to buy them. She committed the crime, right? She did commit the crime, but does she deserve to do the time? That's where you come in critical thinking, right? So, okay, well, she stole this stuff because she needed it, not because she wanted it. Yes, she did the crime. I'm gonna have to write her up for that crime, but you have an option, right? You don't have to take her to jail, all right? Not every person that commits a crime has to go to jail, all right? So that's something that is part of your decision-making, your critical thinking, and your discretion. And on that note, you need to have strong moral character. Simply as this, just do the right thing, all right? You need to be a trustworthy person. You're there to serve and protect. You swore an oath to serve and protect and be a trustworthy person. So be that trustworthy person. Don't lie, all right? The biggest thing that can get you fired in law enforcement is lying. You can curse somebody out, you can say some terrible things online even, and you can probably still keep your job if you're just honest about it and you fix your mistake, all right? Police agencies are willing to work with you sometimes if you're going through hard times, all right? Say you just slipped up, and it depends on what it is. If it gets very serious, obviously that's different. But, say you just did something, it's inappropriate. Okay, yes, I did that. I went up to that mistake. Another thing is that lying on a report, right? It can be very easy for a law enforcement officer to lie on a report. And once you are caught lying on a report, your trust goes out the window, and there's no sense in you ever being a law enforcement ever again, because any state attorney, or sorry, any defense attorney who knows that you lied on a report is going to use that against you every time. Judges are not going to trust your decision. You have thrown your trust out the window. You gotta have courage, you gotta have compassion. All right, strong moral character. Great quality to have, quality you must possess. All right, guys, and my favorite, and what I believe is the most important quality that you can possess, is good communication. All right, this is across the board. It's not just talking from one person to another, but it's communication within your reports, communication within the judicial system, as far as speaking with judges when you're in the courtroom, speaking with even defense attorneys when they call you in to subpoena you or for deposition. You need to have, good communication skills. All right, the most powerful tool you can possess as a law enforcement officer is your voice. Tone of voice can drastically change a situation. All right, how you communicate to somebody on a hostile situation can really change the direction of that entire situation. Your demeanor along with your communication. Say you have a person who's very argumentative, talking a lot of smack and refusing to cooperate with you. He's resisting. He's under arrest. Well, if you start talking smack back, right, you're just escalating the situation, and you're gonna make it worse. All right, you need to be able to be calm, collective, cool, and use good verbal communication to calm that person down. Here's what you guys need to know. Most people just want to be heard. All right, they want to be heard and they want to be understood. Even though you're sitting there like, this guy, come on, dude. They just want to be heard and they want to be understood. Remember that when you're in law enforcement career, heard and understood. No matter who they are, no matter what they did, your goal should be to get the most positive outcome and try to avoid having any kind of physical altercation. Now, I'm not saying that your verbal judo, is what typically it's called, verbal judo, your verbal communication skills is always going to fix every situation. There's some people that just aren't going to have it no matter what you do. But that doesn't mean that you lose your cool either way. You need to get to a point where you're just going to have to go hands-on or whatever you need to do. That's fine. But at least you've shown that you've done everything that you can to try to get that person to cooperate before it got to that point. Communication skills, baby, the most important thing. All right, so interpersonal skills, right? Another skill or quality you need to possess as a law enforcement officer is you need to be able to communicate well with your department members, right? You guys are on the same team, not just department members, other departments, all right? You're working with the sheriff's office, you're working with another city, all right? You're working with a metro department. You need to have good verbal communication across the board. You need to work well together. You need to help make decisions together, problem solve together. It is always a team effort when it comes to law enforcement. So you need to possess those skills as working as together as a team. If you're somebody who does not work well as a team and cannot do that and has to do everything their way or the highway, it's not going to work out well for you in law enforcement, right? So understand that. Good interpersonal skills, good team building skills, working together. All right, guys, last but not least, you need to be devoted to your community. All right, so you need to actually give a shit about what you're doing. Understand your job and your responsibilities are really to serve and protect, all right? You got a problem area of burglaries, so you got to ring the burglaries in a problem area. Your community is suffering and they're expecting you to do something about it, all right? So you need to be dedicated to that. You need to be like, all right, well, I'm going to hammer this area as an extra patrols and make sure that this stops happening, all right? We're going to figure this out. That is your devotion. That is your loyalty to your community and your job. You're given this huge responsibility to help these people in their time of need. You need to uphold that. You gotta have the courage, you gotta show the compassion, and you gotta have integrity. So what you need to do, you
talking to me?
who are interested in law enforcement, is ask yourself the question, why do I want to be a police officer? All right, before you get any further, before we go to the next step, right? Why do you want to be a police officer? I want you to write it down, okay? Write it down on a piece of paper, really read it, and see if that's a really good reason of why you want to be a police officer. And just sit there and think about it, all right? If it feels right, you feel like you're going in the right direction, go for it, all right? We need you, we want you in law enforcement. You need good cops out there, all right? But if you see that, you read it, and you're like, you know what? Maybe that's not the right reason to be in law enforcement. The thing I want you guys to understand is I don't want you to waste your time, all right? This is another reason I'm making these videos. I want to help you get there, but I also want you, some of you out there, want you to understand what it takes and what is needed from you. I also don't want you going through this whole process, because I've seen it time and time again, where people go through the entire process of going through the academy, which is, you know, like 6 months, or unless you do part-time, and then it's even longer. But you go through it and you get hired on, all right? You make it through that process, but once you actually hit the road, you start realizing what this job really takes. And with that, people fail. They'll fail FTO, all right? They'll fail that process. They won't be pushed on any further, right? That's it. And some people will try a different agency, and maybe they'll make it through that time because they reevaluated themselves, but some of them don't. So that's what I want you guys to do, is just make sure that you analyze yourself, that you fully understand within, is this right for me? Is this the right job for me? All right, guys, so if you watched episode 1 and you watched this episode, then you are ready for the next episode of the Police Academy. So if you feel like you've listened to me talk, you feel like, yep, I still want to do this. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Episode 3 is going to be next, the Police Academy. How to get into the Police Academy and how to get through the Police Academy. All right, guys, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.